I'm not even sure if it's possible for anyone, including myself, to say anything new about Arma 3. The game's been out for 11 years. It's been reviewed dozens of times. It's still very much relevant today in 2024 as it was in 2013 when it debuted. Debuted. It's an awesome game. I just sunk 300 plus 300 hours on it. But they're not all 300 hours of gameplay. A lot of times it was just the launcher being left on by mistake. So honest hours out of the 300 that are logged in officially on my Steam account, I'm going to say I probably dropped maybe 250 on it, which is still a lot for me, right? Like, once again, uh, to my knowledge, the most hours that I've ever put in on a game was Fallout 76. I've mentioned this before, and I know it's kind of like a an ironic choice because it's the least popular of the Fallout series, and I enjoyed it though. I thought it was a great game. I thought it was a great game. I'm not gonna say from the start. From the start, it was terrible because I barely could have played it on my PlayStation. It literally kept crashing, like I couldn't play it. So I can't even say it had a rough start. It had a horrible, it was a horrible start. But anyways, eventually the patches kept coming, and then I started seeing the potential in Fallout 76, and to my knowledge, I clocked in at like 500 plus hours in Fallout 76. I think I'm gonna end up passing that playing Arma because I'm playing Anti-Stasi now with my friend, and she is enjoying it as much as I am, which is pretty cool, because typically when you see a girl on Arma or playing Arma, and this is just the truth. I mean, sorry if I'm stereotyping, but I would say the vast majority of time when you hear a girl playing Arma, it's because her boyfriend is playing Arma. Not That's not true in all cases. Of course, there's some girls out there who genuinely just enjoy Arma for what it is, no man included. And kudos to you, girls. But this game has been out for a while now, and age is it's funny, right? Because I'm not sure. I don't think a lot of people know, or maybe they do. Grand Theft Auto 5 is a very relevant game, right? That this game has been out for a while, and it's still in the top 10 on any platform that you can play it on. It's top 10 on Steam, it's top 10 on PlayStation. I'm pretty sure that. I don't know 100. I don't know for certainty, but I'm willing to bet that Grand Theft Auto 5 is top 10 in the top 10. At least it's on the list. So it's wild because GTA 5 came out a day apart from Arma 3. Like they both came out September of 2013, a day apart. So they're like identical in age, and everyone is always quick. The reason I'm bringing this up is I'm trying to make a point that like no one really talks about GTA 5's age. And if they do talk about it, they'll just kind of say something along the lines of like, "Oh, GTA 5 has been out for a long time now. Where's GTA 6?" Right? Which is a solid, valid question, right? Because GTA 5 has been out since 2013, just like Arma has been out for 2013, and so that's 11 years, and it's like, dude, where the fuck is GTA 6? Totally understandable. But when it comes to Arma, it's the opposite, right? Like everyone's always citing Arma's age, right? Everyone's always like it's an aging game, which it is. It totally is. I can't sit here and say it isn't. 11 years for a video game is pretty fucking old. It's still getting updated just like GTA 5. That GTA 5 is as old as Arma, and it's getting updated as you play GTA 5, you've got pretty much all the modern trimmings of what modern video games are doing now, microtransactions and all. So I just find it weird that like people are always citing Arma 3's aging engine and how old it is, but they don't really speak about a game like GTA 5 that's more popular than Arma that came out around the same time. Like they both aren't compared equally when it comes to age, even though they both are equal in age. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but that's something I've always noticed. The game is awesome. I was just thinking the other day, like I'm trying not to sound dramatic. That's why I'm trying to choose my words carefully. But I think it's the best shooter I've ever played in my life. And to reduce Arma 3 to just being a shooter, that's a crime, right? Because Arma 3 is much more than that. It's a war simulator, and by war I mean like all aspects of war, right? From aircraft to battleships to drones to infantry to rocket propelled grenades to automatic guns to handguns to you know parachuting to helicopters to tanks. I think I probably said tanks like twice, but it's a war simulator, right? Like, so it ain't just infantry. It's not just dudes on foot running around shooting each other. Although to me, I feel like that's its bread and butter, right? Like Arma 3 in its core is infantry. Anything else is a bonus. That's the way I see it. So I dibbled and dabbled a little bit in everything outside of infantry. Like I flew helicopters, I rode tanks. I haven't flown any jets yet, just because they look a little intimidating, and I feel like I really gotta, even though I own the DLC, I really gotta sit there and actually try training. I trained to fly a helicopter, and I'm okay. I'm like, I'll get you to where you gotta go, but I can't guarantee your life. So just know you're putting your life in my hands when I'm flying a helicopter, and there's about a 25% chance I'm gonna crash, and that's after taking some serious time going into like VR and trying to learn how to fly a helicopter. Like I gave it a valiant effort, and now I'm okay enough. I am not good by any means. I can't do none of that tricky shit like swooping near the ground and picking troops up. Fuck that. I can't do any of that. I can just get you from A to B in a very robotic way, and that's not even guaranteed. I might get you from A to C, and then you'll have to walk from C to B. So it's just wild to me. Like every time I play this game, just like, and not only is it probably the best shooter I played, but it's definitely one of the most deepest games I've ever played, which is wild to me because I never associate complexity and depth in army games. Army games, at least me growing up all the way till now, they're army games. They're games where a guy in a camouflage shoots another guy in camouflage repeatedly, usually PvP, but a lot of times PvE too. But that's it. Occasionally you drive a tank, maybe for like one mission. And then for another mission, occasionally you may fly a jet or something. But for the most part, it's infantry stuff, and you're running around just shooting each other. It's not really complex. It's just fun as hell. And the simulators, even the simulators of back then, weren't really. You can't really call them simulators by today's standards, but like they were kind of close to it because they had realistic elements like bandages every time you got wounded and etc. But like it's wild because I play this game Arma, and I'm thinking like I never thought that I will say in my lifetime that one of the most complex and deep games I've ever played is a war game, but it is. It blows my mind, and I'm not even talking about the mods yet, but it blows my mind how deep this game is, right? Like you can spend 1,000+ hours just doing infantry stuff, walking around shooting stuff, playing all sorts of game modes, which I want to talk about next because that would be my biggest problem with it. But you could spend thousands of hours just doing infantry stuff. You could spend 1,000 hours flying jets and playing support, blowing shit up. You could spend 1,000 hours just riding around on tanks. Like, there's a dude in the Steam section. You can go now actually. It's where are we? May? Yeah, we're in May 2024. You can go on the Steam page for Arma 3. There's a guy that played fucking Arma for 33,000 hours. Someone did the math. I don't know how accurate it is because I'm terrible at math, but someone did the math and they said that 33,000 hours is equivalent to 4 years. This man has played 4 years of his life playing Arma. And somebody wrote something, another person wrote like something along the lines like, shut up, the master is speaking, or something like that. But it's really cool that well, I don't know about 33,000 hours. That's insane. Even though the game's 11 years old, 33,000 hours is like that's an outlier. That's a special case. But I will say that I've seen many. It's pretty common for you to find people that played Arma for 4,000 hours. 3,000 hours, 2,000 hours. That's still a lot, you know. Um, Even if the game is 11 years old, right? Like, to be honest, 2,000 hours for a game, 3,000 hours, 4,000 hours for a game that's 11 years old, it's kind of common because it's been 11 fucking years, you know. But still, to play anything for 2,000 hours is mind blowing to me. Like I said, the most I've ever seen recorded that I logged was 500 plus hours. And to me, that was like a huge deal. Like, holy shit, this is the game that I played the most. So imagine 2,000, 3,000 for someone like me. That's wild. I don't think I'm gonna hit 3,000 hours, 4,000 hours with Arma. I don't think that's possible for me. Like, I might hit the 500 mark and maybe the 1,000 hour mark, but that is a hard maybe. I think I can hit the 500 mark. Anything after that, I can't guarantee anything. But that goes to show you how fucking cool the game is, even if it is an aging game and it's an older game. And which brings me to my point, right? Which would be everybody has something that they don't like about Arma, right? I can give you a few things that people don't like, and you know what? I scratched that. I'll give you a few things that I'm aware of, but it's not a big deal to me. The jankiness of Arma, you know, the ragdoll physics, the fact that you can't climb on anything, you can't jump unless you have mods, you know, enhanced movement and other types of mods. Then you can climb on stuff and so forth and so on. But yeah, like it's graphically it still looks pretty good, but I'll get to that later. I would say the jankiness is a pain. Some the performance that's a big one for people, right? Because like for me to get a solid 60 frames per second on a game that's 11 years old, you know, it's like it blows my mind sometimes. Like how the fuck like my computer can run this game 3 times over, and yet here I am struggling to maintain frames. So I will say that I have a dedicated server that I play on the same computer as my server. So I'm pretty sure that's impacting performance also. But from what I hear, this is just the Arma 3 problem. Even people who have dedicated servers on other machines or whatever, or even rent servers from services like you know Nitrato or Gportal or whatever, they have performance issues too. I just think it's an Arma thing. The way it was coded, it's very complex. It works, but it's you know it's hard to play sometimes. You know, on my server, someone shoots from any type of vehicle. Like if they have a vehicle mounted gun and they shoot, Jesus, dude, the FPS drops to like 5, 7 frames per second. It's not even a slideshow. It's just a still picture at this point. Um, so those are issues that are common and also issues that you know, it's not the biggest deal to me because it doesn't happen all the time. It happens in every playthrough, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't happen the entire playthrough, just certain parts of the playthrough. It's not enough for me to not want to play the game, right? Like, so that's good, right? Unlike, I'm sorry, I hate to compare, but like Gray Zone Warfare, right? That's a much newer game, and that game I can't even get it to start. The last time I spoke about Gray Zone Warfare, I said that it crashed on me 3 times. It crashed maybe 4 times on me just recently, just maybe like 2 days ago. I just fired it up just to see if it's running any better, and it wouldn't even start. So maybe it was my because my internet's a little fucked up. It's on and off. It's a lot like Arma's performance. It's on and off. So I don't know if my internet happened to be off at this time because I also tried to start up Arma and it was crashing on me too, which is something it rarely does. For a game that's pretty janky, it doesn't crash that much on me, which is you know kind of impressive actually. But yeah, like take a game like Gray Zone Warfare, that's a newer game, and that game it runs terribly. So that's a game that I can say like you know I can't even play it because of performance issues. But my biggest performance issue, not performance issue, sorry, my biggest issue with Arma is probably I'm probably in the minority here, but it's like lack of game modes. So it blows my mind that Bohemia Interactive has constructed such a masterpiece of a sandbox game called Arma 3, but yet all of their vanilla game modes are lacking. And if they're not lacking, they're very simplistic in nature, right? King of the Hill, Warlords, Endgame, Combat Patrol. like combat ops and stuff like that. Like all that is like, yeah, it showcases what Arma can do, especially like the mixed warfare combined operations things where it's like infantry, aircraft, tanks. That's what a war consists of, at least a modern one. And it they're lacking. Like I was playing which one was it? Was it Endgame? It was Endgame, which I enjoy because like I like to play Endgame by myself. I don't even play with anyone. Like that's just when I want to do a quick, 30-minute session. I'm bored. I don't. I'm kind of indecisive of what game mode I want to play. Although Antistasi is king, and I'll talk about that more in a second. I like to play Endgame by myself, where I'm just capturing points by myself. I'm like, it's fun. It's quick. It's kind of just like shut your brain off, shoot shit, run around, shoot shit, and disarm a bomb or some shit. I don't know what kind of objective at the very end. It's just this giant suitcase of technology you open up and you got to shut down and then you finish the session or whatever. I'm sitting there and I'm thinking like the best game modes that Arma has to offer aren't even created by Bohemia Interactive themselves. It's created by the fans. It's created by modders. Which brings me to Antistasi, which so far has been the best game mode that I've ever played. Before that, the best game mode that I ever played was this guy named Billy Eat World. He came out with Direct Action. Those missions are fucking fun. And then before that, it was Dynamic Universal War Simulator, DUWS, right? And then before that, it was Recon Ops. Recon Ops is cool as shit because you could just make a mission and get to it quickly. Um, Also immersive. Like I like to when I play with mods. I've said this before. I'm not a big like. I don't do a lot of tweaking. I like to add a lot of quality of life performance from my mods. I'll tell you some of the mods I got. I've got like immersive animations, like animations that actually show your character open, like his hand is extending towards the door to open it. I like stuff like that. Whenever he switches on his night vision goggles, you'll see his hand actually touch the night vision goggles on his head. Like I like stuff like that. It immerses me, right? The sound mod was a game changer, right? Like I love the little jingle jangling that your character's armor and clothing makes when you're running. It's like this satisfying clicks, like almost like a water bottle hitting like a belt buckle or something. It's like a little pings and pangs. I don't know why, but it's soothing to me. I can't explain that. I guess that's like ASMR. Is that how you pronounce that? I'm not sure, but I guess I get it now. It's kind of like a sound therapy almost. I don't know. I love it. Also, just shooting guns and indoors and just a fucking loud boom. Like I can tell someone shooting a gun indoors with this sound mod. To be fair, I can tell someone shooting a gun indoors even in a vanilla sound. But I don't know, it just sounds everything just sounds much better, right? For the most part. So I've got the animations, I got the sound mod, I have enhanced GPS so the GPS looks a little better, more readable. I have bloodlust, which adds more blood and gore, which is wild to me that for a war game where you're getting hit with fucking 50 cal rounds and tank rounds and anti-air or anti-personnel rounds, like you don't see no dismemberment, no gore, no decapitations, no dismemberments. Like that blows my mind, right? Like no pun intended, but like this is my theory on it, right? I don't know for sure, hence why it's a theory. But if you were to add gruesome gore to a game like Arma, which gruesome gore and war go hand in hand, they even rhyme, gore, war. Probably not a coincidence. Any war game, you need to add some sort of blood. And there is in Arma, but it's very tame. Very tame. Like someone gets hit with a 50 cal, you just see like someone's shirt get a little red, like some red stains that simulate blood. And I'm like, bro, that is not what happens if you get hit with a 50 cal, like a person, like a human being. So I like, what's it called? Bloodlust, because it adds a lot more realism. All of the realism that Arma was missing, at least visually. Excuse me. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. Um, so all these mods that I have a night vision, better IR, so I can see I'm still not 100% sure what that does. I thought it gave you better night vision, and maybe it does, but I think it's more like infrared. It gives you better infrared. I don't know, but I like it. I think whenever you use your lasers for your gun and night vision, I think they're longer, the reach. I'm not even 100% sure what that mod does, but I like it. I did see some slideshows from it, and it compared vanilla night vision and then better IR night vision, and it just looked better. And I was like, okay, that looks more realistic. So, anyways, this is just a very long-winded way of me telling you that the type of mods I use, they're small and they just add to the quality of life. I'm not big on mods that completely change the game, like um, no sway, no stamina, you know, I don't know, stuff like that. Like I don't know. I don't want to change the game too much. I don't mind fucking around with mods, but I also don't want the core experience to be ruined, in my opinion. I have tried game modes like somebody, I wish I knew his name. It was a pretty cool mod that was difficult as hell, but someone made kind of like Tarkov, Escape from Tarkov in Arma 3, and you had to download a shitload of mods. A lot of them take up a lot of memory, to be honest. And you're just playing Tarkov and Arma, which is pretty cool, but at the same time, it's like it rearranged and changed a lot of things. And I don't know, it didn't feel like Arma anymore. You know what I mean? I'm playing Arma. I don't want to play Tarkov. Like I would like to play something that's inspired by Tarkov, but I don't want you to like this is why I don't quite understand why people have Halo mods for Arma 3. They have Fallout mods, they have Star Wars mods, and they're very popular. They're still being played till today. When I say I don't understand, that doesn't mean that I'm hating on them, because I'm not a big Star Wars fan. I don't know really anything about it except for some like characters or whatever. I am a Fallout fan, and I'm not a Halo fan. So I would say Fallout, or out of those three, the only one I played was Fallout. So, I when I say I don't understand, I'm not hating. I think it's fucking cool the amount of work, the blood, sweat, and tears that they put into these mods. They look amazing. They do. But I'm just like, it's weird to me to play a game in another game. Like I'm playing Fallout in Arma. I'm like in my head, I don't know, maybe just my simplistic brain just goes, I'll just play Fallout in Fallout if I want to play Fallout. Like I don't know. But to each their own. No hate. And like I said, even for someone who doesn't watch Star Wars or plays Halo, I've never played one Halo game in my life. Um, I will say that from the outside looking in, I can appreciate the amount of work that they put into it, especially like the armor, like this fucking, I don't know what the armor is called, but it's like this Halo armor. I don't know. It's like, I don't know, Master Chief armor. I have no idea. It looks cool as shit. It's all like scuffed up and it looks metallic and it's like angular. And I'm like, this is cool. It's really cool. Anyways, yeah, that'll be my biggest issue with Bohemia Interactive and Arma 3, that they created such a beautiful sandbox game, but yet their game modes are uninspiring. They're lacking. And then it's the modders and the fans who came out with the best game modes that make the game shine. And I get a little worried, and I'm trying not to think pessimistic here, right? I'm trying to stay positive by thinking that, like, I don't want to think that Bohemia can just sit back and kick their feet up while their modders and their fans basically does the work for them. I don't want to think like that, although I'm 100% sure there are several people who do think that. I know with Armor Reforger, they have their own built-in workshop, and you can just mod and upload it directly to the workshop that's integrated with Armor Reforger. I think that's pretty cool, and that also shows that Bohemian Active is very conscious on the modding scene and Arma, which is one of the biggest modding scenes in video games today. There's thousands of Arma mods, and more are being created every day, and good ones too, right? Although there is some share of bullshit mods too. God bless these modders, man. Most of them, the majority of them, don't get paid. They're doing it out of passion, and it, I don't want to be that guy, right? Although, like I said, I do hear people say this, but I don't want to be that guy that like thinks like, oh, Bohemia Interactive is exploiting their fans and workers for ideas and free labor, right? Like you can look at Reforger. There's like two schools of thought, at least two major schools of thought, because I'm sure other people think differently. With Arma Reforger, there are some people that go, oh, Bohemia Interactive is taking advantage of his fans by basically making them purchase a tech demo. Like you have to pay to play Arma Reforger. There's $30 last time I remember. So you're paying them so you can do the work for them, essentially, right? So it's like free labor. They're making a profit, and Bohemia can just kick back and rake in the dough. That's one school of thought. The other school of thought is like, no, that's not the way it is. We love the game so much that we're willing to put in a lot of work on it because we love to play with other friends. This is a community effort. It's kind of like the way I like to put it is like, people who are out there handcrafting bird feeders and like making like a gazebo for a neighbor. Like they don't want to get paid for that. Well, maybe not want to get paid. I mean, that's not the word, but they're not expecting any payment for that. They're doing that for the benefit of everyone because they're just good people, right? Like that's how I feel. Or sorry, that's one school of thought for Arma. They're just like we just want to make good shit for the community. We don't care about the money, although it would be nice if you guys tossed a couple dollars our way because this is, it is effort. These people are sitting there coding for free. Like, you know, if you can pay them, and I include myself here. I haven't paid a modder yet. I feel so shitty saying that, considering that I have a lot of mods down. Well, I only use like 10 loaded up, but I have a lot of them downloaded. A lot of them I don't use. I most of the mods that I have I don't use, but I do feel shitty because I've never donated anything to any modder. But look, in my defense, I will say this: this game is old, and a lot of these mods are discontinued, and they're not updated, and they're not running well. Some of them are just completely defunct, and some of these links, I don't know where they even go anymore. You click some of these links, they go to a whole different website. So when I see please donate here, I'm like, I don't know if that's even active anymore. I don't know if this modder is alive. I don't like I don't know nothing. So I'm very hesitant on actually sending money to these people because I don't know. But you know, it I get it. Like two schools of thought. What do I think? I don't know. To be honest with you, I guess I'm thinking so much about other people's opinions that I didn't really even have time to think about mine. The How's that saying go? Like the true journey is the friends you made along the way. No, but I don't know. I guess I would have to say a little bit of both. Like I think Bohemia is very well aware that there's going to be ideas that maybe they can leech off of. Leech sounds so bad, right? They can get inspired by, I don't know, you choose the word you want to use. But I know Bohemia Interactive can look at the modding community and go like, we can draw some ideas from this and from our crowd, from our fans, and kind of perfect our product. Or some people may say steal. Give me 1 second. Sorry. So I'm still like, I don't know, man. I've been so sick lately. I've just been coffee and phlegmy. It's gross. So, anyways, okay, I'll give you an example, right? Anti-Stasi, I'm playing that now. I fucking love this game mode, right? And I can't wait to play it tonight. It's very fun. It's tedious. There's times I'm raging, but I love it. It's my favorite game mode so far. And if you ask me, hey Dan, I am new to Arma. I want to, I got some friends that also have Arma. We all want to play game mode. I'll say Anti-Stasi. It's hard as shit. Excuse me, but it's totally worth it. And I'm starting to get the hang of it now. So I'm understanding and I'm conquering I got like half of my tiny little map in Tanoa. I'm playing in the Tanoa map. I got it like, we're catching up. We got almost half of properties. So it's really cool. It's like a deadly game of Monopoly. So, oh, what I was gonna say was, look at Armor Reforger, right? Armor Reforger a couple of months ago came out with an update where you play as a resistance group, and you have to take over certain areas of the map. And I remember thinking like, oh, this is anti-Stasi, right? They basically took a modder's idea. I forgot his name, Barbalasi. I forgot his name, but the guy who created the mod anti-Stasi for Arma 3, basically Bohemia for Arma Reforger said, we're going to borrow a lot of those elements, borrow, steal, get inspired from, leech, you choose your word. We're going to take inspirations from anti-Stasi from Arma 3 and move that over to Arma Reforger. And this game mode, which is fun, by the way, I've played it many times, it basically is anti-Stasi for in Reforger, but like a light version of it. The mechanics aren't that complex. Like I I think you can loot and stuff like that. Yeah, you have to loot actually in order to continue. So that goes to show you that even Bohemia was like, "Fuck, man, Anti-Stasi is such a awesome mod. Like, we can borrow ideas from that." But like, once again, this goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's like, now that they have an integrated workshop in Armor Reforger, are we doing the work for them? So anyways, what I'm trying to say is I think it's a little bit of both. I think Bohemia is definitely using some of the ideas from the modders, and I do think that they also know that these people love the game. you know um Proof of that would be, actually, no, I wouldn't say proof, but because this goes right, this is very decisive too, right? The CDLC for Arma 3, right? The creator downloadable content. I don't know why it took me so long to decipher that. But like basically modders, a group of modders, they make up some mods, they add new assets to the game in their own time, and Bohemia kind of just cures it and basically publishes it for these modders. So now that money is split between Steam, Bohemia, and the modders. I don't know what percentage the modders get. I don't know if it's split equally. I don't know if Bohemia gets most of the share. But point is, that's cool, right? Because now modders they have the opportunity to make money if they make great content, right? Which where they were most likely gonna do for free. But it does give you incentive, right? Like I think one of the modders that came out with I forgot which DLC it was or CDLC it was, but it's like Rotors Collective. That's the name of the group of modders, and that gives them as well as other modders incentive to continue creating stuff for Arma. So not only they can get paid, they can get recognition, and they can continue playing their beloved game. So this is a tough one, but I do think there's a little bit of both. I think Bohemia Interactive realizes and understands that they have loving fans, but I also think they definitely dip in the talent pool and steal ideas or take ideas, whatever words you want to use. So yeah, I mean, this entire conversation right now, Armor 3, hasn't been so much about the mechanics of the game. I'm not going to tell you the backstory or the main story, like the East Wind and the original vanilla campaign. All this has been covered time and time again. There's nothing new I can tell you. I can just tell you my opinions on things, and you know how wild that a game that's 11 years old is still very relevant today. And I will continue to play it until I see that Reforger has caught up to at least a good portion of the level that Arma 3 has. I'm being lenient on Reforger because Reforger's most definitely new compared to the 11-year-old Arma. So it needs time to bake, although Reforger is most definitely at a good playable level right now. You can definitely jump in and have fun. It just, it's missing a lot of crucial things that make me just rather play Arma 3 instead, and for the time being. It raises questions also, questions that I've been asking myself for a while now, which is like, what's going to happen to Armor Reforger once Armor 4 comes out? Will Armor Reforger be absorbed into Armor 4, and whoever owns Reforger will have Arma 4 automatically? I doubt that because, Bohemia wants to make money just like any business. They're not exclusive in this pursuit. They want to make money, they want to keep the lights on. So I do believe you will have to pay for Arma 4, and it's probably going to be like $70. Um, as far as Reforger is probably going to get discontinued, you know, or it'll become, I don't know, because you paid for the product, right? For them to just shut it off, they probably would stop like probably the community, sorry, the official servers, and they'll probably just let you play the community servers if so. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. I have no idea. I'm not too sure what's gonna happen, but I do feel like you're gonna have to pay for Arma 4, and if it's anything like Arma 3 and a more updated engine, and I'm all in, man, because I had a lot of fun. I dropped a good 50 hours in Arma Reforger, and those are solid good hours, not launcher hours. They were honest 50 hours. I enjoyed every hour of it. It was frustrating. It was scary because, I played a lot of Armor Reforger before I got into Arma 3. So it's almost like I devolved almost. But I enjoy Arma 3 a lot more just because of its depth. Like I don't think I would enjoy Arma 3 if it had as much content as Armor Reforger has now. But man, hooray to one of the best shooters, if not the best shooter I've ever played in my life. I long live Arma, man. I want to see it still kicking 15 years later, you know. And I believe that. I believe in my heart, Arma will still be relevant, you know, 4 years from now when it hits 15 years old. I believe that. 20, mm, yeah, yeah, yeah. I can say it'll be around for 20 years. I just don't think it'll be as played as it is now because by then Barma 4 is out and everybody will probably be hopping on that. Good stuff. It's a hard game to recommend to a casual player because it's difficult. It's realistic in the sense that it has ballistics and one or two bullets can kill you, unlike like Ubisoft where you can get gunned down and literally be okay, or it'd be one guy taking out an entire army. This is a lot more different. It takes a little more coordination depending on your mission. Good stuff. I'm here for it, man, and I'm an Arma fan through and through, and I hope it keeps carrying the torch and setting examples for other military simulators out there. I'm out of here. See you guys.